Also, growing traffic is a positive sign of intensified cooperation in the Baltic Sea region and a prospering economy. It also makes potentially polluting shipping accidents more likely. In 2009, there were 105 shipping accidents, including 38 groundings and 34 collisions. Therefore, on August 23 to 27, 2010, the annual Baltic Sea Oil Response Exercise BALEX DELTA 2010 took place in Lithuania. The exercise was combined with the annual international seminar Role of the Navy in Protection of Marine Environment, Maritime Safety and Security, the so-called BALEX Delta seminar, which at the same time took place on board the Latvian Navy ship Varonis. This seminar was organized by the Latvian Coast Guard Service in cooperation with the United States European Command Headquarters and was attended by the Latvian, US and Croatian Navy officers and representatives. The seminar was opened one day before the exercise on August 22 at the Latvian Coast Guard Service headquarters in Riga. Acting head of the Latvian Coast Guard Service welcomed participants to the BALEX Delta exercise and seminar.
BALEX Delta is an outstanding exercise, gives a great opportunity for Latvian Coast Guard to coordinate with US, Europe, and EUCOM and AFRICOM, specifically on oil response cooperation. Perfect example of the help that each nation can do for each other with the oil spills we just had in Mexico, advice that Latvia was able to give to us. But this cooperation has now been ongoing for years, and I'm just glad to help participate and coordinate in this. BALEX Delta is an excellent example, especially now this year bringing in Croatia to learn from Latvia's experience to get a tour here of the MRCC. Latvia is really kind of the model for Europe of how to coordinate any kind of crisis here at sea.
Latvian Coast Guard Service welcomes you to visit Maritime Rescue Coordination Center in Riga 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The basic aim of the exercise, the largest maritime emergency and counter-pollution drill of its kind in the Baltic Sea area and one of the largest worldwide, was to test HELCOM's accident response system, its command and communication system, as well as the cooperation between response units of the Baltic Sea countries in case of a major oil spill accident at sea. The same day, participants of the seminar board the Latvian Navy ship Varonis, which at night departs to the exercise area in Lithuanian waters. Exercise is going to take place next to the Putinje offshore oil morning buoy, where loading of large tonnage tankers takes place regularly. On the way seminar, participants can get acquainted with the ship Varonis, which is a former hydrographic vessel received by Latvia in 2004 as a gift from the Netherlands. In 2007, it has been rebuilt into oil response vessel and equipped with the appropriate equipment. Voyage to the exercise area takes one night, and on the morning next day, participating ships from the Baltic Sea countries arrive at the Klaipėda port and Harwich Place. While waiting to enter the port, the seminar on board Varonis is running at full speed. Each of the participating nations present its national approach regarding the role of the Navy in protection of marine environment, maritime safety and security.
The seminar was held on board of the vessel Varonis, the Latvian Navy vessel, and there were a lot of discussions and experience exchange about oil spill response, about the role of the Navy in the field of protection of marine environment, in the field of shipping safety and shipping security. And a lot of experts took part in the seminar. These were the experts from the Latvian Coast Guard, expert regarding the ship safety and security, an expert who covered environmental response, environmental protection issues and response to oil spills at sea, as well as response to HNS, hazardous and noxious substances at sea.
Then the green light is given to enter Klaipėda port. All participating ships which constitute the Baltic Sea oil response fleet one by one enter the port. At the exercise, the Baltic Sea oil response fleet is represented by the Danish ship Gunnar Seidenfaden, German ship Arkona, Swedish ship KBV 202, Polish ship Captain Points, Finnish ship Merikarhu, Latvian ship Varonis, Lithuanian ship Shakijai, and European Maritime Safety Agency ship OV Copenhagen. Latvian ship Varonis is moored next to the Finnish ship Merikarhu, and when the morning is completed, participants of the seminar join representatives of each ship and observers at the pre-sale meeting, which takes place at the Lithuanian Navy headquarters. During the pre-sale meeting, details of the exercise plan are explained, and participating vessels are divided into strike teams as follows: Alpha, Shakijai, Varonis; Bravo, Gunnar Seidenfaden, Merikarhu; Charlie, Captain Points, Arkona; Delta, OV Copenhagen, KBV 202. Finally, welcome packages are issued to each participating ship by head of MRCC Klaipėda. After the mating exercise, participants return to their ships. The exercise will take place next day early in the morning, but the weather forecast is not very promising. Anyway, all ships are ready to deploy and try their equipment. Skimmers, booms and pumps in operation. Early in the morning next day, popcorn is spread out in the exercise area in order to simulate oil slick on the sea surface. Then the Baltic Sea oil response fleet is alerted and ships one by one depart from the port heading to the exercise area. The exercise area is divided between the strike teams by the Supreme On-Scene Coordinator located on the Lithuanian vessel Shakijai. He appoints the leading and the assisting ship within a strike team. The weather deteriorates already on the way to the exercise area, and the vessels one by one report that they will not be able to deploy their equipment. Supreme On-Scene Coordinator makes a decision to continue exercise without deploying equipment on water, at the same time maneuvering ships and operating as if the equipment has been deployed. This way communication, command and control procedures can be still exercised and trained. Latvian ship Varonis is operating in a strike team Alpha as an assisting ship to the Lithuanian ship Shakijai. Nevertheless, equipment cannot be deployed. It has been prepared for operation on board the vessels, such as this high-capacity Terminator skimmer on board the ship Shakijai. During the exercise aerial, surveillance is carried out by the Lithuanian Air Force helicopter. At the same time, oil response operation on the coastline is carried out. All ships continue simulation of oil response operation till midday, when end of exercise is announced by the Supreme On-Scene Coordinator. Now ships are heading back to the port. Due to bad weather conditions, even the observer vessel was not be able to leave the port. Therefore, a tour was organized to the Lithuanian Naval Forces vessels. In the afternoon, participating ships arrive back in the port and are moored next to each other. Ships attending the exercise planned to sail out at sea to carry out practical training on how to deploy oil collection equipment. Unfortunately, it was not possible due to weather conditions and because oil response equipment has operational limits. For example, sea boom is efficient at wave heights up to 1.5 meters. Today waves were much higher. Therefore, in order to make exercise efficient, communication procedures were carried out, as well as simulation of ship movements, as it would happen if the oil collection equipment is deployed. The exercise was coordinated by our Lithuanian colleagues, as it was carried out within their waters, and our task was to assist the leading Lithuanian ship by simulating deployment of boom and towing it in the correct formation so as to confine the oil slick. Ships operated at sea for hours, but due to the weather conditions were forced to return to the port. Finally, when all the ships are moored at the Klaipėda passenger terminal, debriefing can take place at the Lithuanian Navy headquarters. Aim of the debriefing is to discuss and analyze results of the exercise. The 3 observers constitute the exercise evaluation team. 1 observer is from the country which held the exercise previously, namely Latvia. 1 is from the current organizer, namely Lithuania, and 1 from a country which will hold the exercise next year in 2011, namely Denmark. Observers provide their impression about the exercise.
What about the exercise at nighttime?
Exercise nighttime.
So, for example, yesterday it was a pre-sale meeting,
Yes.
and then it could be perhaps straight away to the exercise place. Why not?
It's
Why
a
not?
good idea.
And it's also like, I mean, interesting to see how it works in
Yeah,
that visual.
It's true.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but I think it's
it's not up to
24
us.
hours too late
Of course.
because we couldn't make any decisions then because we didn't have such an idea. This is a good point for the next country, I think.
Balex Delta exercises since 1989, almost every year. When we are thinking about the mechanical recovery and all oil recovery and oil response business, the timing is everything. It means we have a scanty of time to be used. The second thing that is important is have a little bit creativity. It helps. It means we have to try to use to those conditions inside of possibilities, of course. But in any case, that is time for creative thinking. You know, the repairing the exercise, it's quite a big task to do. It needs a lot of time, a lot of thinking, a lot of arrangement, a lot of details. If everything goes smoothly, it seems to be very easy, but it is never. It is never easy. You have to put quite a much effort to that. In a way, it is learning process. It is learning process. It's learning process. Designer, arrange those organizers. It is learning process for all of us. Just now we are learning. Sometimes we cannot do almost nothing. Therefore, perhaps the most important thing when we are thinking of the Baltic Sea is that we are doing that jointly. All of those 9 countries and EMSA, European Union, we are doing that jointly. We are not alone. If there is something really nasty happening there at the sea, we are all together connected to that. We cannot say it is that oil company, it's belonging to that. It's belonging to us. We cannot escape it. Perhaps we will grow together with that big challenges, having those tankers of 150,000 tons of crude oil inside of them. Perhaps someday having a bad day. On the behalf of HELCOM Response, I would like to congratulate the organizers, thank all of you about your response this day, and those days before the exercise. And I hope we are able to continue. Thank you.
Balex Delta 2010 was organized by Lithuanian Navy MRCC, which is responsible for such activities as pollution abolishment operations and search and rescue at sea. And we evaluate this exercise as successful because due to the weather conditions we were not able to use all the equipment. But I think that the good point is that we left harbor, all ships, and we cooperated. We joined in strike teams. We did maneuvering. We had helicopter on scene.
When the official part is over, tour on board the Latvian ship Varonis is held for the Balex Delta seminar participants. Here they can get acquainted with the actual oil spill response equipment installed on board the ship. Among them 800 meters of rod-desmi inflatable sea boom high-capacity rod-desmi and Lamor power packs to operate the equipment, high-capacity floating terminator skimmer with heavy oil collection cassette, 2 50 cubic meter oil storage tanks and 2 brush-type Lamor side skimmers. The exercise ends with official reception where experts, observers and participants can get acquainted with each other, and it is always useful to exchange opinions in an unofficial atmosphere.
Suggestion for the future, I hope so that if we will be planning this drill, maybe this long-range weather forecast will be taken into consideration because a lot depends from the weather in this kind of drills. That I hope so that in the future we will have really good summer weather.
Now, when the exercise is over, ships may depart to their home ports. But the Balex Delta seminar is not over yet. Back in Latvia, participants are invited to visit the NATO Baltic Diver School and Navy Training Center in Liepāja. Here they meet head of the Divers Training Department Jurijs Timofejevs, who provides professional tour of the school and diver training center. Due to very high density of unexploded ordnance in the Baltic Sea dating back to the Second World War and even to the First World War, which is found both at sea during the annual mine-sweeping operations as well as on land, this school is a perfect place to learn how to recognize and handle unexploded ammunition, mines and other ordnance. At this point, the seminar Balex Delta 2010 is concluded. Organizers of the seminar, Latvian Coast Guard Service, was pleased to hold the seminar and